Hi guys, welcome to Mompreneur Space live show podcast where I interview inspiring moms from all around the world where they share their challenges and struggles as mompreneurs. I'm your host Kenneth Chu, and today's guest is none other than Olga Schmidt, who is a mom and a volunteer for ALLATRA International Public Movement. In this episode, we will be talking about changing the format of society and also how she overcome her challenges and struggles. Without further ado, let's welcome Olga. Hi, Olga.
Hi, it's great to be here with you today. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Welcome. So today is really unique experience. So later we will tell the audience. So before we start, right, there's a tradition in my show that we always have this question of the day that was posted out to the next guest and also to the audience. So are you ready to receive the question of the day posted by the previous guest and share with us your answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
So the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, would you want to be a mom if you have the chance to choose it again? All right. Yeah, I repeat again. The question of the day posted by the previous guest is, would you want to be a mom if you have the chance to choose it again? So spend some time to think about it while I go onto Facebook Live to see if you are connected successfully and if our audio are good to go, and I will come back to you, all right?
Yes. It's a great question to have, of course. The answer is yes. Of course, I would want to be a mom if I had the chance to choose it again. Absolutely. You know, it gives you a different perspective when you have kids. So absolutely.
Wow, that is really a quick answer because I think it's a given, right? That you will still continue to choose because of the joy, because of the things that you have as a mom. And thank you for answering the question of the day posted by the previous guest. And now we can officially kickstart. I think this really fast because for this question, right? I rather than me going on to checking and immediately you gave me the answer, and I would say for a mom and you're enjoying this motherhood at the same time, so it's definitely a yes. Thank you very much. So before we really go into the topic of the day, which is changing the format of society, maybe you can do a short introduction of yourself. Where are you from? What are you currently working on? And maybe just a bit of background, how you started this whole journey. Maybe some childhood things you can share with us to give the audience that are seeing you for the first time a better background about you. So,
of course, yes. Well, as you said, my name is Olga Schmidt, and right now I live in Detroit, Michigan, in the United States. I lived here for quite some time now. For about 22 years, I've been here. I was born in Russia, and then I moved here, and I've been living actually in Michigan ever since I moved to the United States. So I love this state. It is beautiful, and I currently work in the medical field. I'm an MRI technologist, and I love my profession. I love patient care. I really do. I love meeting new people every day, and I'm happy to say that I can in some way help them. And as you said, I'm also a mom. I enjoy that very much as well, and a wife. It's also its own responsibilities, comes with its own responsibilities, but it's definitely a great experience. And as you also mentioned, I'm a volunteer of ALLATRA International Public Movement, and that is also something that brings me great joy because it's something that changes, and we'll go into it a little bit more, but it's something that, I can do to express myself and also to do something good for other people and for the society, and to change this format of the society that we live in with great project that is on the platform of ALLATRA Unites called the Creative Society Project.
Wow, thank you very much for your introduction. And at the same time, why do we need to change the format of the society? Maybe you can explain further and share with us more insight, because I personally know, because I've been talking to you and also because of Creative Society, that's why we got connected and you guys invited me to speak in one of your episodes. So maybe you can give everyone maybe a an idea why is there a need to change the format of society?
Yes, absolutely. So today we see that we live in this consumerist format where power and money take the first place, and we actually consume each other. And we consume each other for something, right? For some kind of resources. And also we asked this question, volunteers from all around the world said, are people happy? Do we really need to change the format of the society? Or is everyone happy living the way we live today? And millions and millions of interviews through the past 11 years been conducted by the volunteers. And people from around the world, this is millions of people from almost every country, I would say, said that they're not happy in the way we live today, and that we need to change the format to the creative society. And again, you can call it whatever you want. The creative society is just the name that was chosen. It has a meaning behind it. You know, once it was translated, it's now creative society. But it's this format where human life is of the highest value, where we all live, you know, with the basic needs provided to each person, where, you know, education, medical care, housing, clean water is all provided to every person on earth. And I believe that today, this is the format we should be living in. And that is why so many volunteers are working towards changing the format and informing the people about this project.
Wow. So when you talk about ALLATRA TV, why do you choose to volunteer for that? Because for you, you have a very good job that I think everybody will be looking forward. And at the same time, you're a mom. Managing both work and motherhood is really a big thing for a lot of mothers. So why did you decided to volunteer for them? And there must be a very, very strong reason, although you have really shared. But is there a very even stronger reason why you want to take time out from your busy schedule, being a mother, being in medical? Why do you choose that?
Yes, you know, it's a good question. And that is exactly why I chose to volunteer, because I am a mom and I am responsible for the future of the children, of all children, you know, of my children and all the children that live. And of course, I want to live in a better world as well. And that is the first reason why I started to volunteer, is because I want to make sure that my kids live in a better world. I want to make sure that all kids have everything that they possibly want, especially clean, you know, water, food, that they all are provided for. And, you know, it breaks my heart when I see children, or even when I see adults that, you know, don't have the basic needs, that cannot afford education or healthcare, or, you know, the list goes on. And this is saying, when I talk about this, we live in the 21st century. We have the technology to provide for all the kids, for all the families in the world. And that is why the main reason is because I am a mom and because I am responsible. And we need to take that responsibility. You know, we say in the constitutions, say the power belongs to the people. Well, I want to take that power, and I want to, you know, I cannot no longer be silent. And I want to speak up for my kids and all the kids and say, you know what, we need to start speaking up. We need to take the responsibility, and we need to start acting.
Wow. It's like you mentioned, it's precisely because you're a mom and you have your kid and you want to provide a better future, because through your work with Creative Society, with ALLATRA TV, you are able to do that, right? Right,
absolutely. And that is exactly what it is. Through those projects, knowing that it's people all over the world, moms, dads, grandparents, just regular people that want to change this format, they're able to show that, you know, we can live better, we can provide for everyone. And of course, you know, us as parents, that is the best thing. What do we want? We want a better future for our kids, right? We want them to live better. Where now is the time to act. Now is the time to change this format so that they can live better. And it is so important to do something for the society. You know, in the creative society also, what the main thing that I like is when a person every person will do something for the society, and the society will take care of each person. And that's how it should be. And to me, I think it's just so important. There can be nothing else that could be more important than to change this format that we live in, to stop, worrying about money, to stop worrying about power, but to make sure that we have human life of the highest value. And if we think about this, what if we change this format once we build a creative society and human life is of the highest value? Just imagine how many things will change. I'm in the medical field, so this is close to me, but we won't have medicine that could hurt another human being, right? Because we know that it might be harmful. And you're like, no, human life is first. We're not going to put that on the market. We're going to make sure that, preventative healthcare is in place. All those things, slowly in all spheres of life will change to improve the lives of all people for the better. And that is what we need to all strive for. That's what I believe.
Wow. And you touched on something, that medical is not to harm people, it's supposed to save people. And we talk I guess the audience have been hearing about the format and the format. So from our previous conversation, and I learned from you guys that the format that most of us are in is in the consumerism society. Maybe you can explain a bit more, what do you mean by that? Because that will give people better association of what we are talking about, the format, and why is there a need to change, especially during this period of time.
Sure, absolutely. So consumerist society, the main and the biggest problem, not the fact that we consume, for example, more products, right? We buy a lot of stuff. That's one thing. Of course, through commercials and things like that and media, of course, we do that. But also today, the biggest problem is that we consume people, we consume each other in order to gain power, right? So what can it look like? We can, again, if we go back to healthcare, if you look at any hospitals today, it's a big organization. It's a big corporation that is just trying to make money. And, unfortunately to say, people, patients are like numbers, how much money can we make? And it's actually really, really sad, especially, in the times we live in today. And how much money can we make? How fast can we discharge this patient? What will it cost us? And stuff like that. It shouldn't be like that. And that is why, a long time ago, we used to have preventative medicine. And also, even before that, what happened? The doctor would get paid when his patients are healthy. Imagine if you're a doctor and you get paid when all your patients are healthy. And then if somebody gets sick, then the doctor has to pay for that patient to get better. You as a doctor, you as a hospital, wouldn't you want to make sure that all your patients are healthy and well and are doing well? That is how it should be. We should worry about every single person, every single human, and life should be number one. And that is why we need to change the format from the consumerist, where we consume each other. We're trying to make money by making people work harder, making people work longer hours, making people do things that, we're not supposed to do. Our bodies are not made to do certain things, lift heavy objects and, so on and so on. So that is why the format we live in today is so dangerous. And also, one more thing I want to bring up is that today we learn to shift the responsibility from ourselves onto someone else. Maybe it's a politician, maybe it's somebody else who's in charge. And we say, they will make our lives better. But that's not how it is. They're only one single person. There is nothing more that they can do. They should be responsible, of course, for the people, but the people also should have the power and should should be responsible for their own lives. And now that we're talking about moms, all right. Yeah. Moms should take the responsibility for the lives of their kids as well.
And I like when you talk about the responsibility, not just with the leaders and also ourselves, especially parents. This is something that I do agree with you that as parents, even as an adult, we should be responsible for our whatever that is happening. We should not push it or blame the authorities or even the government or even the leaders that are not doing a good job. because like you mentioned, they are just one single person. How much can they do? Even you combine the whole, maybe the parliament or even the leaders all together, they are not as much as the people, the means the whole population, the whole country population. That is also the reason why I believe that creative society is gathering all the like-minded people to come and have this movement and really to make a change, because it's like all of us, if it's one chopstick or a pair of chopstick, right, it's easily broken. But if let's say you have a group of chopsticks or a bunch of chopsticks together, it's stronger. And this is the reason why we all of us should come together as maybe the resident or the citizen of wherever you are, to come together to really make a change. Because with the masses, with everybody coming together for one vision, which is to make a better world, I believe that we will be stronger and it's more effective, rather than you depend on the minority, which is the leaders, and there's only so much that they can do. Why not we should all come together and help each other and to create a better future, not for just our children and also for our children's children. And then coming to that, right, how did you come across ALLATRA TV? Like we talk about all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, how do you come about knowing that?
You know, I used to volunteer a lot for different various organizations here in the Metro Detroit area and overseas as well. And, there was something that was missing from me and all that. And then finally, a friend of mine, actually, a neighbor of mine, was volunteering as well. And she told me about the project, and she told me about, the millions of people that are doing all these good things. And I said, wow, nobody gets paid. And she's like, no. And I said, what do I need to do? Do I need to sign up? Do I need to pay a fee? She's like, no, everything is done on your own basis at your own time. If you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, fine. But it's all, again, we come down to responsibility and the want or the need to, to make changes. And that is what was missing for me and all the other volunteering organizations that I volunteered for, that, I was part of, because you had to pay some kind of fee, or there was always politics involved, or you were, supporting one side, but not the other side, the rights or the lefts or the whatever, or the women or the men. It doesn't matter. There was always separation, and there was always something was missing. And then when I saw ALLATRA International Public Movement, the people from all over the world, that are from different countries, of different religions, different nationalities, different social status, different, they all united, and they were all building this one world. They understood that a change had to happen in the world, and they were all striving towards this change. Honestly, I was amazed. I was amazed to see so many people, so many different people, yet they all agreed on this one idea. And they all have, it's great to work when you work, not when you work, but when you do something with people of different nationalities, different religions, different cultures, it gets really exciting, because everybody has their own ideas. Everybody has their own way of solving problems. Everybody has their own perspective, their own vision. And it just gets, it's so interesting to learn from each person. And it was just, that's how I got started. First I got started with translating. Then I like to do, as you were on one of our live broadcasts, I became a host. And again, for me, this was all new. I learned, as we went. That's how we learned. But with a great team of people, with great participants, anything is possible. And I think, as if you have a goal, you can achieve anything. So,
wow, I like that. When you have when you have a goal, you can achieve anything.
Goal, yes.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with you because I think both of us, we know each other about coming to 2 years, right? Ever since from the first interview, and I see the big change in you. From the first time I knew you, we were hosting, and back then I've already hosted quite a lot of my live podcast. So I was like, okay, and this time round, it's like the different kind of vibe that you're giving. You're so much confident. You're much more fluent. You're much more how should I put it? Because being a host, right? Because I've done, like, this episode is 88. I've done like interview people from all around the world. Like you talk about the nationality, the race, and you meet all kinds of people, and they always bring something new to the table, new to the show, new to the session, and that's where I became 88 times wiser. But for you guys, like especially for you, I guess you have done like 100 or even 1,000 or episode, right, in the past.
I don't know about 1,000, but definitely a lot of conferences, a lot of episodes. And again, this is all new. You learn as you go. So
yes. I like that.
It's an experience.
Correct. It's the experience that make you, wow, you know more things, you know interesting thing, you know what is happening all around the world because you meet people from all around the world, and you are hearing from the horse's mouth. You're not hearing from the media, which most of the time now you can't trust it. And when you hear from social media, they may be true or maybe not true. But hearing from people and having them on screen, interviewing them and hearing from their mouth, it makes it more legit, I would say. Because why would one that's not legit that comes onto your show and share something that is not true? If it's true to that certain extent, definitely is something that we can learn. Like from you, if not for like interview you and your other friends who are also volunteers of ALLATRA, I would not have known about Creative Society. I would not know that there's a group of people that is doing what I believe in, but we are on different journey, but for the same vision, which is to make a world a better place. So hearing from you talking about the responsibility and what makes you want to start this journey? I know that because of a mom. And how long do you see this journey to be?
Oh, good question. I want this journey to be as long as until we build this world. And I hope that, we do this soon. But, I want to share this. Why is it so important? And why is this journey important? And why this journey, for me cannot, hopefully, we can build a creative society and we can start living in this perfect world. Because as you mentioned the media, and this made me think about this. On ALLATRA TV, as you said, we have people from all over the world that share true stories. And one of the most important things is climate change, climate crisis. And I know we talked about it a little bit. Today, why is this so important? Because today, even on July 24th, just a few months ago, on the platform of ALLATRA Unites, there was a global conference called Global Crisis. This already affects everyone, where scientists, researchers, and people from all over the world that study climate change and also environmental crisis shared that today we're facing a lot of climate crisis, and they're only going to increase and get worse from all over the world. And also they shared that it's a cycle. It's a 12,000-year cycle that we're going through. Why is this so important? Because today we're in this cycle. Climate is changing. It's only getting worse. We can see it already worldwide today. Even in 2021, beat all the records for all the climatic catastrophes and disasters that we see worldwide. And even here in Detroit, it's in Michigan, it's been really, really bad, even summer. A lot of floods, a lot of power outage, and it's only going to get worse. That is why it's so important today. And I see my journey, hopefully not being too long, if we can share this information with all the people to change this format, to unite. Why is it so important to unite today and change the format? Because all the scientific, we have a lot of scientists today that put their attention towards building, weapons, atomic bombs, things that do not benefit myself and my family. They really don't. They do not put food on my table. They do not make my child's life better. They don't. But those bright minds can actually put that attention and put all their knowledge towards building something that will actually benefit the society. Imagine if all of them get together, unite, and put their attention towards something that can benefit the whole world. Our life is gonna change for the better so quickly. And that is one of the most important things. And also I want to mention that on December 4th, there's also going to be another conference, global conference, Global Crisis Time, the Time for Truth. Also, when scientists and researchers, when will again tell the people, share the information with the people on the importance of unification and the truth about the climatic changes and how soon all of us will be affected and how soon we will all have to relocate to different places because we won't have any place to live. And, it just saddens me to know all these facts, to see this big global picture, and to know that, our children, our, friends' children that, all over the world will have to be put in these conditions if we do not change the way we live today. So,
wow, that is a very, I would say, a very deep kind of conversation that we need to really go into. But when you talk about the scientists, I also understand why the scientists can't. It's challenging for them to come together, because if you look at all the weapons they're building, they're funded by individual ones that want to benefit, want to protect themselves, or it could be because people are not coming together, people are fearful, people are protective of oneself, and there are always someone out there that want to take over you or take over the country or anything to make them feel secure. Yeah. So that's why when you talk about, definitely I believe that the scientists want to do good, but at times because their invention has to be funded because there's a lot of manpower, there's a lot of resources, there's a lot of logistics that is needed. So that's where I believe that ALLATRA TV will be able to do that, and even to bring all these scientists together so that they will be doing things that is for the good for all people rather than for good of
Kenneth,
some
I lost
people.
you there for a second.
All right. So can you hear me? I got frozen. Okay. You're back. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. You're back.
Yes. Sorry, I lost you there for a second, but maybe it was my internet.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So as I was saying that like all these scientists, because I believe that why they became scientists, because they want to do for good, but at times their research has to be funded, right? Because
we live in this format of society, in this
Yes.
consumerist society. Exactly.
Correct. And that's where I believe that ALLATRA will be able to have that resources that is ready for them, so that they will be able to do good for many rather than do good for a few people that wanted for their own advantage. So that is also where I want you to, that I believe that our conversation here will be able to share more light to people that have this awareness that we are in this society, and this is the reason why we need to change the format. Because by changing the format of the society, all of us will benefit from each other. Like you mentioned, we, like for the doctor's case that you talk about it, like if the doctor treat you when you get well, the doctor get paid. If you get sick, the doctor have to pay for you. So it makes sense, but because in the consumer society, it's not the way, because most of us don't even know why we are living in this society, because it's made up by a few people that have great powers that dictate that this should be the way. And this is ever since centuries ago, dictatorship, and that's where we have emperors, we have king, queens, and all that stuff. So but now the world have changed. That's where but although the world have changed, technology have changed a lot of things, but the way we run things, the way we behave in the society has not changed, right? That's where ALLATRA TV Creative Society is there to let us know. And when you talk about like because I love to do volunteers, and it became a very good, I would say, a good example for my daughter. And my daughter always asks me, "Hey, Daddy, when are you going to do a charity, helping other people?" But like you mentioned, a lot of non-profit or charity organizations are funded by all these people that with powers that they want them to run a certain way. That's why you need to volunteer in another job. It's another job, right? It's like a 9 to 5 job. You need to have the commitment and all that. In that case, it's not volunteering, right? Volunteering is based on your own time. That's why when you talk about creative society, there's no there's no format at all. There's really like when you can and based on your schedule, you're able to contribute, you contribute. If not, there are still other volunteers that come in. And I can see how much you guys have grown over the years. And definitely the next conference or next summit, there will be more awareness and more people will know about you guys. So coming to that, was there a aha moment that you were serving or you volunteer for the Creative Society that make you realize, wow, I should have done this earlier, or it's like this is the thing for me, and I believe that with Creative Society we are able to change the world. Is there an aha moment for you?
Yes. If I knew about this earlier, I would have done it way earlier. I mean, I don't know. ALLATRA, to me, ALLATRA International Public Movement is like, it's something very special. It's like a group of amazing people from around the world that do these amazing things, that use their talents. Even if they didn't have these talents, they will acquire them just to serve humanity. And I think that this is so important today. And I believe that all of us, all people actually have this in them to actually give. Do you know what I mean? It makes you feel good when you give something, when you do something for someone else without wanting something back. And that is why this platform, if I knew about this a long time ago, I would have done it, no question asked. I think, I want to say, but everything happens at its own time. And when I got introduced, I was ready to take action and ready to volunteer. And that is why I believe that all of us should set this example, especially moms. We should all set this example for our kids. Even my child always asks, Mom, who are you talking to today? What country are they from? What are they doing? It's exciting. It's interesting. It's great to learn from other people. I know so much more facts, so many things that I didn't know before. And it is just so amazing to learn, to look outside of the box. The media shows us, how it is. It only shows us certain things in small amounts. And then we're not sure, is it true? Is it not? It's kind of confusing. But when you see the whole global picture, when you see what's really going on from all the angles, from all the countries, from, all the scientists or researchers or doctors or whatever it might be, you actually, when you see the global picture, the perspective changes. And that is so important for all of us to actually, start learning, start doing our own researchers. Don't take my word for anything or your word. We need to honestly do our own research, take that responsibility. Moms, very important for moms, right? Take that responsibility for our lives, because the lives of the kids, our children, depends on it. Let's take action. Let's change the format. Let's show our kids that we can do better. Let's be those true heroes. Moms are already heroes. Dads are heroes. But let's be those true heroes for our kids that can later on say, thanks to our parents, now we live in this awesome world because they worked hard, they informed, they, did what they could to change this format.
Wow, I like that part when you talk about real heroes, like parents are real heroes when you are making a change in a certain world. Like for example, like my daughter, because in school the teacher always like to ask, oh, what does your parent do and all that stuff. So everybody will like all her classmates will say, oh, my dad is an accountant, my mom is a doctor and lawyer and all that profession. And when it was her turn, and she said, my dad is an entrepreneur. And all the classmates got like stunned. They said, what is an entrepreneur? And she was the only one that has a parent that is an entrepreneur. And she basically was so proud of it because nobody had, kids, right? When you are the only one that has that, you have the limelight, you have the attention. And she liked that. People start asking, hey, what is your dad doing as an entrepreneur? They got curious, and she's very proud of it. Even to today, we talk about it. And even like, for example, I do TikTok videos, and some of her classmates was like, I know your dad. I saw your dad doing TikTok videos. So this is very, very interesting because our kids basically model after us. They see what we do. They get curious as kids themselves. They are always curious, and they start asking things. And if we can show them a better, like for you, I believe that your kid will learn a lot of things from you because you learn a lot of things. You are exposed. You're out of the box. You're resilient. A lot of things that is there. That's why although you're working for people, you are not an entrepreneur. But I see you as a mompreneur. Why? Because mompreneur do things for their children. They build things for their children. Like you mentioned, through Creative Society, you are able to build a better future together with the rest of the volunteers, so that our children or our children's children will be able to live uh, in the better world. So that is why I invited you, because I see that the things you do is even much bigger than any businesswoman. Is a world's work, is a life's work, which you are working on. That is very entrepreneurial, and I would also want to change the format of entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurs are here to solve a problem, and you guys are solving a very very big problem, that is the consumer society, to change the format to a creative society where everybody comes together. Like you mentioned, I want to bring back to that part where you talk about international, and everybody come from all walks of life, be it genders, be it skin color and all that stuff. Everybody are just coming together. The same thing with my Mompreneur Space live show, that I meet mompreneurs from all around the world. Like for you, I would say you're originally from Russia, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And you are the one of the first few Russian that I know. Like for us in Singapore, we are such a tiny country. How would we be able to know someone from that far? We may have heard of, but we may not have know someone. Like we are friends now. We chat, we catch up, we ask for we ask if we are doing good and all that stuff. At least we have that, and I would not believe that would happen if I've not have done this movement, which is the Mompreneur movement, to be able to connect with you and hear awesome thing like Creative Society. I learn a lot from each and individual mompreneur. So I really love what you're saying, that we in the end, right, all of us are just human beings. We are what I call, the other word would be earthling. We are staying in Earth. Who knows that maybe in time our rockets can go to Mars, we can go to Venus, and all of us will be staying there. But having said that, coming back, we are planeteers, we are earthling, we are human beings. We should regard everybody as human being rather than all the labeling with all the skin colors. But that is also where we are going, which is a borderless, with internet and technology. Like you are on, I'm 12 hours ahead of you, but we are still communicating thanks to internet and technology. So I believe the future for our children is going to be like that, and you'll be amazed. They have no sense that they have this what do you call that, diversity. In fact, diversification is something, and also is something that going ahead we should have, and also the inclusion. And the last thing that I learned from someone, which is a very good leader, about compassion. So she shared with me that what she's building is building a world with compassion, with diversity and inclusion. And when I hear that, I was like, wow, that is also precisely what I'm in for, and that what our Creative Society is made up for. And this is the direction that we should go, and this is the world that our children will live in, because they are so connected with the whole world. So thanks, Olga, for sharing all that. And what would you think that if, let's say, if you are not a mom, because you say that you started Creative Society and you started volunteering because you're a mom. So what if you are not a mom? Would you had volunteered for ALLATRA International Public Movement?
It's a good question. And today we we have our kids, and then there are other kids, but in reality, it doesn't matter if you're a mom or not. All children are our children. Do you know what I mean? We should care for all kids as our own, because the reality is we're one humanity. We're all on this one earth. It might look big, but honestly, it's very small. We're all on it together. And it doesn't matter if you have your own kids, if you're a mom or if you're not. All the kids should be taken care of for. And it doesn't matter, who the kid is with. He should be taken care of as their own. Do you know what I mean? I don't look at my friends' kids or other kids as somebody else's kids. Of course, I'm gonna, take care of them as,
because you definitely will have nieces and nephew, right? Nieces and nephew is also very dear to you.
Yeah, so all the kids we should, care for as our own, regardless whether you're a mom or not. But so yes, I would definitely, do this if I wasn't a mom, because it's really good to give back. It's really good to give back to the society and to do something good for all the people. And, the Creative Society is a project for all people. We can only change this format altogether. If all people on earth, almost 8 billion of us says, yes, we want to change this format. And we know today that all people want this. They all want to live better. We all want to work less. We all want to, have more time with our kids, and we can make this happen.
Wow. I really resonate with you with what you have shared, and definitely it's for all human, be it just for children, it's also for your neighbor, it's also for your friend, it's also for someone that you may have passed by, it's for everybody, because we are living in a world where we should seek fulfillment, like for what you're saying, like you pay it forward, you're helping people, you're doing charity, you're volunteering for a good cause. That fill our heart, because there's so much that we can earn and thrive and be rich or be wealthy. But there's also another part, because we humans, we have emotions, we have feelings, and we want to be fulfilled. And when you help another people, that fulfill the heart, not just the pocket, not just the bank account.
Yes.
Yeah, so there needs to be a balance, because we have friends or heard of people who are wealthy. In the end, they are alone. They have no friends and all that stuff. But we have people who are poor, but they are living life to their fullest. They're enjoying their life in the best way possible. So I really resonate with what you have shared. And what would you say is the biggest challenge for people to be out of, or maybe to change the format of the society? What would you say the biggest challenge for anyone that wants to change the format of the society, or to come out from the consumerism society? Do you get me? Olga, can you hear me? Okay, I think there's a bit of connection. Let's see, it could be. Hello. Hi, Olga. Okay, you're back. Can you hear me? Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good. Okay, you're back.
Okay, yes.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, I think there's some connection problem, so let's wait for a while. Okay. Okay. Yes, you're back.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. I did hear your question though. It's a very, very good question. What is the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge is that A, we're too scared to take on the responsibility, and B, we don't have this vision. We do not see how this society can look like when we are, where there is no war, no conflict, no, hunger, no violence. All people live together in safety, and, people don't have this vision because we do not have examples like this. I should take it back. We do have examples like this, but this happened over 6,000 years ago. That is how people used to live, in these kind of format, in the creative society. But now, since we do not have that vision, we do not believe that it's possible. And, and also people are too scared to take on that responsibility. Oh my gosh, I should be responsible for my future. Oh no, that is just, impossible. So that is why it's so important to actually have this vision of this perfect future, and then take on the responsibility, act, inform people. Because the first stage is the informational stage. We have to know about it in order to act. If you don't know, you're not going to know that we can change the format. So if we know, we can act, we can have this vision, and it's totally possible. So let's just believe in ourselves, right? Let's have this belief in ourselves to know that it's possible. And then we can totally make it happen all together.
Yeah, And the thing is also to start with awareness. Now, for those who are listening, for those who are watching live or the replay, you would have this awareness that what format are we in now? And is that the format that you truly love, or you're looking forward for a better future, for a happier moment? And like what Olga, you shared something that brings me back in time. What we like in Singapore, we have what we call a kampong, which is more like the village kind of lifestyle back then. Before that means back in the I would say 1960s, where Singapore is still not independent yet, and we have this kampong, which is village. And my grandfather, they used my wife's grandfather used to own a big house that he invite people to stay together, regardless like whether are they related, are they relative or not. And the most amazing thing that now they are still keeping in contact wherever they are, and they treat each other as relatives, although they are not relative by surname, but they are together. So that is that spirit you talk about. Like we all should all come together, even at one house, one big house, that everybody stay together to help each other, because they really help us a lot whenever our family has any challenges or struggles, or someone just left, just passed away. They will always be there. And every Chinese New Year, they will visit us, we will visit them. And that is something that I don't get it in my family, which my wife's family fulfilled that. I felt that fulfillment from her family. So like you mentioned, definitely we all look forward for that day that all of us can come together with no agenda, with no intention, really there to help. That is also what I'm looking forward, and what I'm building is to build a community that has love, compassion, and empathy for each other, to make a better world for our children. So definitely we are on the same journey to the vision to create a better society. And also, what would you say that for you, the biggest challenge for you as a mompreneur?
The biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is to overcome the doubts in your head. Because all of us, right? The little voice in the head that tells you that you can't. And the biggest challenge is not to listen and to do. And once you overcome that, once you stop listening to that little voice, you can do so much more. And that is once, you can do anything. You can you can do anything.
It's impossible, right? Nothing is
everything
impossible.
Is possible. Exactly. Nothing is impossible. And I think once we, that is the biggest challenge.
Wow. I can see that, because a lot of time when I'm coaching or I'm mentoring mothers who want to start business, a lot of time it's not about the business. A lot of time it's about what is going in their mind. It's really the mindset. Is what are they telling themselves? Are they saying affirmation for themselves? I can do it. I'm the best and all that stuff. Are they telling themselves? What are they telling themselves? Or are they letting other people tell them? Or sometimes worse, they're letting themselves tell themselves all this thing. So absolutely, I agree on that. On the biggest challenge for moms, especially moms who want to start business or anything, or even start a movement, is really the little voices. Where I recently learned about this through Clubhouse, which is, they call it the imposter syndrome. You don't feel great about yourself. You don't feel that you are worthy. You don't feel that you're of value. You can just stop all this. In fact, I wrote something about this also, like how you can overcome all that. And basically, there's only 5 steps how you can overcome that. Really, let's just get it out and share. Okay, so the 5 step, right? And maybe at the same time is number 1. The 5 steps to overcome imposter syndrome or the little voices is 1, make a decision. Decide that you need to do this, you can do this, and do it. And second, how would you want to feel? Would you want to feel great? Would you want to feel empowered? And 3, the belief to make it come true. Like what creative society? Someone started this, they make a decision that we're going to create this creative society. I want to feel good so that we'll be able to make other people feel good. And the belief to make it happen regardless. That's why we get talent and all that. And 4, what must I do to make it a reality? That's something. That's number 4. And number 5, what resources I have in me, around me. So what resources I have in me that are all around me. So that is where you talk about the talent that Creative Society has, and you guys are doing a lot of different medium and getting people who are really creative to create the channel, to create the TV and all that stuff. So these are the 5 steps to overcome imposter syndrome. So in fact, like you mentioned, the first thing is you have to take action. You have to do it first, and the action is by decide that you should do this. You believe that you can do that. So thanks a lot, Olga, for sharing about this little voice, and it's so true. All of us are always limited by all these little voices that are speaking to us. As long as we have the strength, we have the intelligence, the wisdom, we are able to get all these little voices out from our head. So time really flies, and I really want to hear from you more. Maybe you can share with the audience, how can they get connected with you, Olga?
Yes, absolutely. I would love for all the people who are watching us right now to go on ALLATRAUnites.com, read more about the project, because truly this is a project for all the people. And again, if you're a mom, if you're a parent, this is even more important for you, because we do all want the best for our children. So go on ALLATRAUnites.com, and also check out the conference that's going to take place on December 4th, called Global Crisis: Time for the Truth. And this is truly a conference for all people to get this wholesome, I would say, picture of the events that are happening and will only get worsen in the future. And why do we need this information? Once you're informed, you can make a decision. You can actually figure out what is it that you want to do in the future. And, as you know, society doesn't need a revolution. We need an evolution.
Wow.
We need to make changes by peaceful means, which is more sustainable than the changes we've been making by fear, changes we've been making by violence and wars. Those changes are not sustainable. And I think today more and more people realize that the way we live today is not how we want to. We don't even live today, to tell you the truth. Today we exist. We exist in these gruesome conditions where we have to work a lot of hours, where we barely have healthcare, we barely have education. We are fed by this media that is, gives us the information where we can't even find out now what's true, what's false. And, just go on ALLATRA Unites, check out the project and find out for yourself, do some research for yourself. And also for all the moms out there, stop listening to the little voice in your head, start acting, because today we can make so many great changes.
Wow. Thanks, Olga. And for those who want to get connected with Olga, I will put the links in the description. You can connect with her directly through LinkedIn, and for the rest, for ALLATRA United, I will also put it in the description or in the comments or in the chat. So once again, we are coming to the end of the show. So it's time for you to post the question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So what would be your question of the day, Olga? It can be anything.
My question.
It can anything about the things that you're passionate about. It could be motherhood, it could be work, it could be anything. What would be your question of the day?
My question is, would you like to live in the world where human life is of the highest value, where there is no wars and no violence,
wow,
where all people are provided for? Would you like to live in the creative society?
Okay, so
a little long, but
a little long. I'm just trying to condense it. So can I string it, because creative society will means everything that you have just said, right?
Yeah, but where human life is of the highest value.
Okay, so
definitely.
Can you repeat again?
Would you like to live in a world where human life
in the world
where human life is the highest value,
where the human's life is at the
highest value?
Okay, good.
In the creative society,
at the highest level in the creative society. Okay, I can say
Perfect.
I can say that this is the longest question of the day so
Well,
far. Yes, but it's a good question. It's a good question. So I repeat again. Let me know if I get it correct. So would you like to live in the world where humans' life is at the highest level in the creative society?
of the highest value. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
So it's in the creative society of the highest value.
Where human life is of the highest value.
Oh, highest value. Okay. Highest value.
Yeah. We have a lot of firsts, so that's good.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
You and I, yes.
Yes. A lot of firsts. I think that these are all behind the scene. But it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I shall not review too much. Maybe I shall do it in my IG to the story. And maybe I do not know whether Olga will be free for a short period of time after this. Yeah. So anyway, so thanks a lot, Olga, for this question of the day. Let me just repeat the question of the day again for those who are listening, for those who are tuning in. So the question of the day is: would you like to live in the world where humans' life is at the highest value in the creative society? All right, good. So this question of the day goes out to the audience who are listening. Do let us know what is your answer in the chat. At the same time, this question of the day also go out to the next guest. So next guest, get ready for this very, very long question, but it's a very, very good question. So thanks a lot, Olga. So last but not least, do you have any last advice for the mothers who are thinking that whether should I step into entrepreneurship or should I do other things? So what would be your last advice for the mothers?
Mothers that are listening and watching us right now, you should do what makes you happy, but you should definitely do something that, when you're giving back. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should definitely do it. Don't let the little voice in your head stop you. Don't let anything stop you. Believe that you're invincible. You can do anything to put your mind to, but as long as it is something that will benefit the future, the future of all the kids, your kids, make sure that you're doing something good for the children and showing a good example.
Wow, thank you so much, Olga. Thank you for sharing this last advice to all the mothers. Definitely being happy and also to having the sense of fulfillment and paying it forward to build a better future for our children is definitely something that is very valuable. So thanks a lot, and thank you for making time. I really appreciate that, because for you it's late in the evening, and really appreciate that for you to share why we should be changing the format of the society is so important, and especially for the mothers and the parents out there, take responsibility to create a better future for our children, and this is only possible if we put in effort, if we learn and evolve, and know more about what is happening in the world right now. So thanks a lot, Olga, for coming on to Mompreneur Space live show podcast. Definitely, I will invite you again for our future episode to share more about what type of society can we do and what are the action steps. So thanks a lot, Olga, and thanks everyone for watching Mompreneur Space live show podcast, where we go on live every Monday. So and I'm Kenneth here signing off with Olga. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.